The relationship between a soldier and a commander is like a father-son relationship. Especially in the times of war, there is a great commitment between soldiers and their commanders. The reason for this devotion is that they are both facing death together. Situations like this bring people closer together. It strengthens the bonds between them. But does this general rule also apply in the Russian army? Recently, Russian troops serving on the Ukrainian field were faced with a rather surprising situation, so much so that this situation affected all the troops, especially on the Kherson front line. The impact of this incident was quite great. Many Russian sources, on the other hand, stated that they wanted to believe this incident was not real. And what was this incident? Let's take a look into developments together. The Pioneer continued its reporting on the Russia-Ukraine war. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications to access our daily reports and the map analysis. I'm also reading all your comments you've made. Please continue to comment on our content. If you're ready, let's start. The Pioneer reports. We have brought the crisis within the Russian army to your screens many times. In recent days, another crisis has arisen. So much so that this crisis has found a very wide place in both the Russian press, the Ukrainian press, and the world press. As you know, there are many soldiers on different nationalities and status in the Russian army. In addition, a large part of these soldiers are young and inexperienced. People who are not used to the psychology of the war and the environment of the war. Therefore, the developments on the battlefield are wearing the soldiers down more compared to the other soldiers. Even a small incident causes these soldiers to almost lose their minds. Such an incident happened recently as well. A Russian soldier serving on the Kherson front line suffered a nervous breakdown. And then he took an irreversible action, so much so that the impact of this event will continue for a long time. On the night of September 2nd, there were lively moments in the village of Raiskoy, which is under the occupation. A Russian soldier named Misyuraev was shouting wildly in the middle of the barracks. It was as if he had lost his mind. He was swearing insults and the commanders of the units to which he has affiliated and insulting Russia. According to the official sources, Misyuraev had suffered a nervous breakdown. However, local sources were making other allegations. According to local sources, there had been an argument between this young Russian soldier and his commander. The young Russian soldier mother was ill, and he asked for permission from the military commander. However, the commander did not allow the soldier to request this permission and even insulted the soldier and his mother. Despite this, the young soldier had not lost respect for this commander, and he had asked her permission again. According to local sources, the process of asking the young soldier for permission was quite usual. In other words, he did not disrespect the Russian military commander. But the commander, in addition to not allowing the soldier, was threatening to punish him. As a result, this situation touched the pride of the young soldier. The young soldier was worried about his mother, and he continued to fight as a soldier, and his commander insulted him despite all the efforts of the soldier. The young soldier could not stand this situation any longer and had a nervous breakdown. Late at night, quite lively minutes began to take place at the Russian headquarters. The Russian soldier had lost himself. His friends were trying to calm him down, but they had not succeeded. The commander was also fearfully following the Russian soldier. The Russian soldier found an opportunity and captured one of the machine guns located at the headquarters. He opened fire on the Russian military commander, who opened fire around him, and on the command officers who were around the commander. The commander died on the spot due to the impact of the bullet that hit. The commanding officer of the command was taken to the hospital for treatment, but could not be saved. Later, the Russian soldier got into a car located at the headquarters to escape. After the shooting of the commander, there was a quite big confusion in the region. The Russian soldier tried to take advantage of this opportunity, but did not succeed. Russian soldiers in the area destroyed the vehicle Misyuraev was in. Thus, the young Russian soldier also lost his life. This incident was met with a great shock in the Russian sources because the Russian government claims that every turn that there are family ties between the Russian soldiers and Russian commanders. In addition, the Russian administration often hides the information that Russian soldiers on the front line have lost their lives due to the conflicts among themselves. Therefore, many Russian citizens think that Russian soldiers are on the front line under fairly good conditions. However, the unofficial Russian sources also no longer believed in the propaganda of the Russian administration. According to many Russian sources, the recent incident is a very humiliating thing for the Russian army. They want the situation of the Russian soldiers on the front line to be improved so that such an incident not to happen again. However, we do not think that the Russian administration will take any steps on this issue. Because as you know, there have been many similar events since the beginning of the war. Despite this, the Russian government has not taken any measures to ensure these events not to happen again. Therefore, we do not think that the Russian government will take any measures after this incident. Nor was this the only incident that took place among the Russian soldiers. As you will remember in our reports of the past days, we have told you that there is a crisis of drunken soldiers in the Russian army, and these problems will increase even more with the approaches of the winter month. It's still early autumn, but this problem gradually began to manifest itself. We have already mentioned it. The need for heating, one of the greatest needs of the Russian soldiers on the front line, cannot be met. For this reason, many Russian soldiers use alcohol to warm up. But this situation deviates from its purpose after a while. This is why that Russian soldiers get drunk and fight among themselves. Recently, a crash broke out between drunken Russian soldiers in the village of Niprety in the Kherson region. The causes of the conflict is not yet known. However, according to the reports of local sources, drunk Russian soldiers verbally attacked each other. Then, these Russian soldiers lost their control. 5 Russian soldiers lost their lives during the conflict. Russian sources, on the other hand, did not make any statements about this incident in question. The Russian army is faced with a different crisis every day. Our thesis that the Russian army will face more problems with the onset of the winter month had also been confirmed by the recent events. We will continue to follow up the developments. What do you guys think? How do you think the murder of the Russian commander by the Russian soldier will affect the Russian army? Will the Russian government take measures? What do you think about the alcohol problem of the Russian soldiers? Do you think this problem will increase further? Can the Russian government ban the use of alcohol in the army? Mention it in the comments. I'm reading and caring about all your comments.